Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Once again, outstanding guest. This young man, he goes way back. You can call him mayor, you can call him director. He's done a lot of things, but right now, he's in the position of mayor of the great town of Glenarden. I'm a little prejudiced, I'm from Glenarden too, but Glenarden has really shown Prince George's County the types of things that all you have to do is look around. It's right there. And plus, he's involved at a business center as a project manager. This young man, Dennis Smith. I know you've seen him before, but I want to let him introduce himself. Dennis, tell us about yourself. We don't have but a half hour now. I know you've been involved in Prince George County, and men like you have made Prince George County what it is today.
Well, Ed, currently I'm the mayor of the city of Glenarden. And it's a position that I humbly accept, and one in which I think that I have a responsibility to offer to the citizens of Glenarden many of the things that I have learned as a result of being raised in a city and have been afforded the opportunities to have been around persons like yourself to have been great mentors for me. And so I went to undergraduate school at Morgan State, and I did my graduate degree at University of Maryland College Park.
Great.
Worked in county government for 20 years, left as the director of the Minority Business Office. Worked in numerous campaigns, political campaigns throughout the county.
Right. And you're part of that first one too, African American with a group of Tommy Broadwater and that group that broke the color line here.
Yes, worked as a kid with that.
Decatur Trotter.
Absolutely.
And, what is his name? Delegate. What is it?
Exum.
That was a group, and you were part of the group.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what people don't understand. The things that you have done, as far as Prince George County. They come in Prince George County, but it's people like you that have sacrificed, to work in these campaigns and make Prince George County what it is today.
Yeah, we worked in the community trying to make sure that we had a better community here in Prince George's County, and we worked as the trailblazers to, in fact, worked with the trailblazers, and learned a lot from them.
Yes,
from Cora Rice, from Clem Martin.
Right.
Oh, some real fine people that I've had an opportunity to sit up under their tutelage, and I am forever grateful.
And you're still working. See?
And I'm still working.
And you're still working.
I'm still working.
That's the
right.
important part of it. Tell us about Glenarden.
Well,
a lot of people don't realize how Glenarden has produced young men like you and produced so many things as far as progress in Prince George County. It's one of the #1 towns.
Yeah, we in Glenarden have been fortunate, and one of the things that we did in the 1960s, we went directly to HUD in terms of urban renewal. Back in the late 50s and early 60s, we were just a little rural township.
Right.
And we went directly to HUD, received a grant to build our urban renewal program, and we were able to...
That was the first urban renewal program in Prince George County, was Glenarden.
Absolutely. And we were able to bring in our community up with curbs and gutters and streets, and as we saw the Beltway cut through the city, and we had the foresight to annex the property on the other side of the Beltway at that time, where the Wegmans is, the Woodmore Town Center is now.
Right.
So we had that foresight.
And that was years ago.
That was
maybe
years
40
ago.
years.
That's right. And now we have seen that whole development come to fruition. So it was great foresight by the city fathers. And
Mayor Cousins, all of it.
Absolutely.
The groups, they saw the foresight, and First Baptist Church was a part of it,
Absolutely.
So,
the minister there, Reverend Johnson, lived right down the street from me at the time. And going down to First Baptist was something that I always enjoyed. Maryland was a Catholic state, and my family was here in Maryland on the plantation, and the Northampton plantation, we call it, is what Lake Aubrey is today.
Is that right?
That plantation.
See,
was
that history, a lot of youngsters don't realize that.
Oh yeah,
you know?
that plantation goes back to, my family go back to 1700s.
Is that right?
On that plantation, with a 1,000-acre plantation owned by Lord Fairfax.
Is that right?
Yeah, yes, sir. And so, and from there, my grandfather left, because afterwards, after my great great grandmother was there, they became sharecroppers after slavery on that same property.
On the same property.
Right. And so after my grandfather left, he purchased some property in Glenarden in the 30s, and before the 30s, before the town.
And now you're the mayor of the town.
Now I'm the mayor of the city. That's right. We hope to be able to do some things in terms of our citizenry. One of the things that I'm big on is an after-school program. Right. I think that we as a community need to, in fact, set a culture that will, in fact, inspire learning. Set a culture that will inspire a type of a positive image and type for our community. We have a responsibility in setting a culture as well as the school system,
right,
as well as the church, etc. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I am moving our city towards.
Now, well, what about the education as far as the schools are concerned?
Well, we have 4 elementary schools in our city, and what we would like to do is to take a look at those elementary schools in the city who are not performing as well, provide some good after-school programs and even before-school programs for those schools, and to seek. And the thing is that we as a city and municipalities are we have 27 municipalities in Prince George's County.
All right.
And we can leverage our funding in order to, in fact, supplement what the county and state offer us. And I watched the great city of Bowie do some things in terms of being able to leverage its resources. And that's an important element in school. I mean, the city of Bowie, for instance, at the time I watched them put an addition onto the high school. They leveraged some resources that they had along with the county, and they were able to do that. And that's the great thing about it, the municipality. We're able to take the little that we have and to, in fact, leverage some resources from the state and county and to enhance overall services for the citizenry.
Yes, because what people don't realize, the leadership in Glenarden, different things in the history. I'm so glad that you gave some history, and you're part of history. I didn't know that myself, of Glenarden.
My uncle still owns the barber shop there.
Yeah,
and he still comes down to cut
hair.
Still
cut hair.
That's right.
He used to cut my hair.
he was 96 last week.
Is that right?
Right. And I had to come by to see him.
96.
He's 96.
And still cutting hair.
Still cutting hair.
I tell you, fantastic. I tell you, to see, how the town has grown, and people like you have grown and taken over responsibility in the history of Glenarden. A lot of people don't know. They know Smitty, the barber, though, because he's been on George Palmer Highway for
longer than any business that's been there. That's right.
Yeah, he's been on there longer than any business.
That's right.
It's really, really fantastic. But the idea, what about the young people? What programs in Glenarden do you have?
Well, we have in the city of Glenarden, we have the #1 track organization in the country.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah, I know.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, my grandchildren participate in it.
That's right. We have the #1 track organization in the country.
Right.
We have over 300 and some kids who will come out in March to be a part of that association, and out of that association, we have sent so many kids to college.
Yes.
And college in terms of scholarships.
And they have traveled. I've done some traveling with them too. They have traveled all over this country.
All over the country
to participate. I've been to California. I've been Florida. I've been all of those places with that track club.
Absolutely.
And that track club in Glenarden is #1 and is known throughout the country.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And really, and they're known to really have a program there, and they have one of the best programs in the state of Maryland.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? No ifs and ands, buts about it. And a lot of people don't realize, and I have to take my hat off to Glenarden and the Glenarden Track Club for participating all over this country. You know,
Absolutely.
Glenarden has done a beautiful job with the youth. I mean, these youth, they're not just from Glenarden, they're from all over.
Oh, absolutely.
All
over the metropolitan area. Come to the Glenarden Track Club. That's right. Because of its leadership and what it has been able to produce.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, we're working with that. Obviously, in cities across America, the population becomes older. I have an older population in the city now that I'm able to have to serve, and to make sure that they feel the comfort of their homes in terms of public safety.
Right.
While at the same time bring them out and to make them enjoy their retirement and make sure that that life is great for them.
Yes.
And so, but some of the challenges that we have, as we have converted from an older community, and now with new leadership came in, and sometimes you have lost some of the continuity of history.
Right. You
lose some of that continuity, and you lose some of the experience that people like James Fletcher brought to the city as mayor.
Right.
And I served in the city council, if you recall, from '79 to '83. And so coming back. And having had that experience and that tutelage from these great leaders, I have been able to, in fact, say this is how the process should be. And so I'm delighted to take on this responsibility.
Great. What about this other hat, your business center? You're a project leader. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, as you know, Edwin, in 1984, I came into Paris Glendening's administration.
So did I.
Yeah. And I was deputy director of the county's minority business office then. And in 1993, I assumed the position as director of the minority business office and stayed through the Glendenning administration and throughout the Wayne Curry administration as director of the county's minority business office. Since then, I have worked as minority business director with the State of Maryland Department of Public Safety and Corrections. And currently I am a project director for the Minority Business Center for the U.S. Department of Commerce's. Here in the District of Columbia in the Washington D.C. area.
Is that right?
Right. And so there we assist businesses obtaining government and local and commercial contracts. And my goal is to assist businesses with obtaining contract awards. So
tell us a little bit about that. If a person want to go into business and they minority, just what's the process there?
Well, in terms of going into business, I always promote number one, education. Situate yourself wherein you have post high school education. And learn something about whatever trade that you want to go into. Learn something about it, and or learn at least the overall tenets of business operations. Right. You don't necessarily have to be an expert in your field if you in fact understand business, but you then need to surround yourself with people that know, that has a talents in a particular area or expertise. And then you have to network. I think one thing we and I talked about that. Networking. Networking is very important. Being out there networking and talking to people that know more than you. Yeah. That's right.
See, a lot of people don't understand that, you know, going into business, they want to be me, myself, and I. But the key to good business is networking.
Networking.
Because it's somebody out there can always help you achieve your goal.
Oh, absolutely. That's right.
And I think that's one of the things that young people they want to like I said, me myself and I, they want us with where I'm in charge and all that. But the networking is the key to successful business. And every last one of your millionaires, that's how all of them got started. Networking.
Absolutely.
Is different businesses that are owned. Some people think they're owned by one person. It's a group of people, And a businessman, he generally, what happens is that he networks.
Yeah, bringing around you and surrounding yourself with a good coalition of people that you can bounce things off and that they can offer. So
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's so very vital.
Right, because some people think you got to have that dollar all the time, but that's not. It's who you know. You know that if you're networking out there, a lot of things you can get done just with a phone call.
Absolutely.
Because you know someone.
Absolutely.
And this is something that the young people have to realize is that, hey, 9 to 5, what I came up in, in the 50s and 60s, that's out now. You have to get in the business world. The great poet said, you're not free until you're economically free. No matter how many laws they pass, until you're not free until you're economically free. And this is something that they have to realize. And this is something that we're trying to pass on to them. You're doing it with the business center, and so many things that are happening now that young people have. And just like I talked about WOL coming up with $40 million. And I was told that they came up with $40 million in another project too, because their association, this is where this networking, their association with MGM will open up a lot of doors. See, that's what people have to, the young people have to realize is their association networking open a lot of doors that you before couldn't even get in the building. Let's more open the door. See, and this is what do you think, young people? How do you think they can get into the business world? What's the best way?
Well, let me say that in the business world, and I was talking to one of the business leaders the other day. He said, "Well, we went to high school together." And he said, "I've got to leave here." He said, "I go to bed at 9:30. I get up at 4:30. I exercise, and I'm at work at 6 o'clock." And
working habits.
That's what, and I'm just saying that it's a lot. It's hard work, and the thing is that while you have the energy, that right there is when you need to, in fact, make sure that you spend the time. Hard work never killed anyone. That's right. And the thing is that I work. My office is 1611 Connecticut Avenue Northwest. So I get on the subway in the morning and get there. Came here for this, and I'm going back downtown. And I'm gonna be in town. I'm gonna be at work today until 9:30. Right. But and I don't mind hard work. I mean, what else is there to do? That's right. Right. And right. And the thing is that like I work right now with a lot of businesses who have been around for a while, but in terms of startup businesses, if they say Ed Brown told me to call, they can certainly call me, and I will, in fact, walk them through a process. Because we definitely need to have more businesses to get started.
Yes,
that's right.
And what
business, to network?
What businesses do you think are really flourishing now?
Well, I mean, here in the Washington D.C. area, obviously the industry of Washington D.C. is the federal government.
The federal government.
They the big.
So that's
industry.
contracted.
That's contracting, right?
Yeah.
I teach at the Prince George Community College, government marketing to federal, state, and local, as well as proposal writing. But in the federal government marketplace, information technology is big. In this area, the health industry is a major industry that has a lot of growth associated with the health industry, as well as construction. And so
when you say construction, a lot of people think, well, I don't want to be shoveling or digging, but there's other phases to construction
Oh,
that is
absolutely.
not physical. Tell
Oh
us
yeah,
about that.
that's right. I mean, there is engineering.
Yeah.
That's right. First, there's civil engineering, there's electrical engineering, there's design, architectural design. Uh, we hope to have. I was talking to one of my firms I was working with. Hope to be able to be participating in the design of the MGM.
MGM.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, right, yeah.
that's what I mean.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's the networking, and that's coming in. Those are jobs that are coming into the area. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
and they're going to need these different positions. Now, what do you think? Just like the National Harbor, now they had a program in which they work with the community college in which they were training individuals. How is that going?
Well, it's going great. It's going great. They're the last year of the grant there, and they were charged with expanding the capacity
Right.
of minority businesses in the
Right.
construction arena,
Okay.
and going great. I mean, that program has been able to ensure, for instance, a class that is being conducted now over there is one in which OSHA training was given. Construction workers have to be trained in safety, and they need to have their OSHA 30 card at least. And so, free of charge, this program was
No kidding.
offering those
At the community college.
at the community college.
What's the name of that
The
program?
Center for Minority Business Development. Yeah.
Center for
Minority Business Development.
And the course is free.
Absolutely. That course runs between $300 and $400
Yeah.
on the marketplace, but you were able to take this course free of charge. Construction firms that were based in Prince George's County, their employees.
Is that right?
Yes.
Name some of the companies that really are offering this.
Some of the companies that's benefiting from,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the programs in there.
I know MG National Harbor is.
Well,
Because
National Harbor Peterson Corporation was
they started.
gave the grant for
Yeah,
the
they
for the
gave the
program.
money,
They
right.
gave the money for the program.
And so that program, so you've heard it here on the Ed Brown Show, you know. There's a program right there in your backyard, the community college that a lot of people out of work. We realized that we saw that when they have advertised for 800 jobs at Walmart, and 23,000 people applied for 800 jobs. So, hey, this is your opportunity. Get involved. All right. Okay. Tell us a little bit more about your project. You have a special project that you're working on now.
Well, in the city of Glenarden, we had 593 units of garden apartments that we have. They're vacant. We, along with the county, will be tearing those apartments down and replacing them with other housing.
What type of housing?
These would be they're zoned for townhouses.
Townhouses. Okay. All right.
Right.
Okay. Well,
And, yeah.
I tell you, Glenarden is continuing, and I like to say Glenarden is one of the most progressive towns, city in Prince George County, and it continues to be that way with leaders like Mr. Smith here, and there's so many of us have been working Prince George's County that know the history about it. And actually, I used to live in Glenarden. My kids went to Ardmore Elementary, and I didn't know his association with the land itself. Is historical, you know. And the fact is, his 96-year-old barber, a friend of mine, he cut my hair back there in the 60s. He's still cutting hair. But anyway, keep up the good work, Dennis. And I tell you, this is what we need. And just like I said earlier, Glenarden is #1. And with you in leadership there, it's going to continue that way, because that's just like home base to you.
That's right.
All right. This has
Thank
been
you.
Ed Brown. See you next time.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite.
Unearth hidden passion.
Mama, have a good time.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.